Honestly, I underestimated the project. I thought it was probably going to take, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, and then wait 3 months into it. We weren't as consistent as I thought we would be, but I want to say we're about like 90% done. Hey guys, so welcome back to E46 spec build car. We literally got the whole car right here in the corner. As you can see, everything like radiator, the transmission, intakes, the exhaust manifold that we're gonna throw away. It's all here in the boxes. We received a shipment of a lot of parts like exhaust, suspension, everything is already here, the wheels, so a lot of things are cool here. But right now my priority is to get the engine done, because once we get the engine done, we can install the engine. From there, the clutch, the transmission, and we'll start doing the rest of the suspension. We also, right behind you, we got the roll cage. Currently, I'm talking to one of the welders who is going to be hopefully coming from California and taking care of a roll cage for us. It could be a delay, so it's probably going to be one of my priorities to make sure the roll cage is complete, the engine's fully rebuilt, and from there, rest of the stuff, I hope we're not going to miss anything, but the rest of the stuff should be easier, like doing the suspension, the brakes, the wheels. It shouldn't take too long. We got the block all torn apart and cleaned up, and you can see how nice and clean the crankshaft itself is. We have a real mess in here because we got a whole bunch of parts delivered. We're gonna go from the piston rings, connecting rod bearings installed on it. I'm still waiting for silver parts in there, and right over here we got the rear subframe removed. Not just the rear subframe, we got the entire car, entire suspension removed. So we're technically replacing all the bushings on the subframe. So this is just the suspension stuff. Like if you look at the boxes themselves, I mean overall, like it's about $26,000 worth of parts, and it looks like a little bit, but we got a bunch of boxes in there, a bunch of boxes here. And I was dealing with John from Beamer World, and super useful, super knowledgeable for racing, and they've been doing it for a while. So we got the entire kit, front and rear sway bars in here, everything sorted out pretty nice and clean. We got all the bushings, sway bars, adjustable spacers. It's pretty cool water pump right over here. I honestly haven't seen one of these water pumps before. She's delivering up to like 25% more of volume. So right now, honestly, it's really confusing because like it's everywhere and you're trying to figure out where to start. Like you're jumping from suspension. Like if you look over here, we got everything removed. We're gonna get the new control arms. We're gonna get the rack and pinion itself, power steering hoses. So technically we're replacing everything. I don't see anything else that's out here that we're not going to be touching. It's just we're jumping from left to right now. The struts are still here. So the struts, shocks, springs are going to be all replaced. So making a little bit of a list actually what we forgot to order. And I'm thinking it's literally freaking everything. Like every damn bushing and everything that's movable. We'll power wash the car because right now it's a little dirty. Use a whole bunch of degreaser in it and just power wash it to make sure we get all this dirt out of the way. We still, what I see right now, we still got some air conditioning lines that we're gonna remove. The compressor obviously is not going back no more. In 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna take the roll cage to the shop where they're actually gonna weld the roll cage. So I'm expecting hopefully to have the car running, maybe put some miles on it before I take it to the roll cage shop. The goal is gonna be to have it running, completely running in February, with a roll cage installed, and maybe do the first test on the track in March. So stay tuned. Let's go show you really quick on our roll cage. We just brought it upstairs because it's taking too much space in the shop. We got the roll cage in here. We got 8 wheels, so we got 2 sets just in case we crash the wheels, so the wheels and the boxes. I need to get the tires as well. Just making the list of things I forgot to order. The roll cage is freaking heavy and it looks very complex, but we got a guy who's been doing it for a while, so we take it to the weld shop. We'll see. I haven't met him yet, so we'll see how friendly he is and accessible. Maybe we'll do a little bit of shooting in mirror when he's doing the roll cage. If not, absolutely we'll show you the before and after roll cage installation process. It's not powder coated. We bought a different roll cage from SRS. That one is going to be powder coated. And I think it's going to be a little bit more assembled, but it's not here yet. So we're going to start with Beamer World roll cage for now. Alright guys, so another quick update. I think last time when you were here, we didn't have a rear subframe off, so we removed the subframe. We already replaced the bushings. So differential bushings right there. We also got the subframe bushings right there, but because it was getting a little bit rusty, so I'm gonna spray paint it just to protect it from rust. So it's just an example. So I'm gonna clean the rest of the areas. These bushings are gonna be replaced anyways, but I'm gonna tape off the bushings, make sure I can spray it around nicely so we can leave it nice and clean, let it to dry. So just an example, I want to make sure we're going to be clear of rust. I'll do a couple more layers on it, and I have additional layer of protective that we're going to go underneath of the car as well to protect from future rust. It's a race car, I mean track car, so it's not going to see as much rain or moisture, I mean, as it typically would. A simple layer of paint is going to do the job. Like, we're not going to see rust on this anytime soon. Alright guys, so another well-known problem is a rear subframe on this, guys. So we got a repair kit from the Beamer World. So there's plates that we're gonna weld them later. So they already come pre-bent, preset. You can use regular bolt from the wheels just to secure it in place. It's also gonna center it. We're gonna give the car a good wash first. I got some degreaser. We're gonna spray some degreaser in it. After, we're gonna have to clean this area, the welding area, to the bare metal, to make sure we get the clean sheet. So we got 4 plates, which is gonna have 4 plates on each side. All right, and there's gonna be some more plates from inside the vehicle. That way, luckily we have 0 rust on it. Like, there's no rust on the frame itself, so which is great. Like, we don't have to worry about repairing it or damaged subframe. So we're still gonna add this additional plate, so we're not gonna have to remove the subframe anytime soon. We also got the new trailing arm bushings already. These are pretty cool. They're 2-piece bushings, the solid bushings with a pin, metal pin in there. It was pretty simple to press it in and out on a press itself, so we had to remove a whole arm. And we already got those guys in place. We'll try to wash it a little bit. The axles as well, we're gonna get the new axles. So we'll receive both axles, we're gonna replace those at the same time. So now we know it's not a foam, so we're gonna stay back a little bit. I swear Home Depot, no, I'm sorry, AutoZone sells the foam one. There you go. So I wanna soak the fuel tank itself. We're gonna spray it all, let it soak a little bit under the liners. Who doesn't like a good bath? Probably you don't, but everybody else does. So we're gonna use a regular vacuum and go clean the mess up. With the step where we're doing the inserts, so M54 blocks are notorious to actually pull the threads from the bolts, the cylinder head bolts. There's a special tool, the bump tool itself. They have guides, so it's pretty cool how it lines up with the guides right over the cylinder head. My job is almost done here, actually. So you gotta line up. You got some 2 of these guides right over here. So one is for the drill bit, another one is for the topper, the different diameter, which is really cool. So pretty much you move the guide to each cylinder, you drill it out, then you move this guide over, you top it, then you take the head off, the plate off. You top a little bit of a ring in there for the insert itself installation. So I got 1 left to do. Everything has been drilled out. All the inserts have been installed actually except 1. So I got 1 left over to get it done. Some of them will be a little bit deeper, which is totally fine because this head, they have like wider holes and there's guides in there. Like originally there's 2 guides used and some of the holes are wider. So the insert itself is gonna be deeper. It's totally fine. There's not an issue there. And most of them should be flush pretty much with the head. As long as they don't stick out, you're totally fine because the bolt goes way deeper under that, So, and it's about 1 centimeter insert itself. So bolt is gonna hold a lot more pressure than a factory aluminum threads. One of the last steps is we need to tap this little ring around it so the insert will go flush, and this is what's gonna happen. So you wanna blow the air out, thread metal in there. Make sure you put the glasses on because you can seriously hurt your eyes. So as you can see, we got a little nice ring in there and it's gonna sit flush. So there's no need to use a Loctite because once you drive in the tool, the last couple of threads, and you can read on a repair kit on the time certs, the last couple of threads are gonna actually open up and it's gonna lock it in place. So you don't have to worry about using a Loctite on the inserts themselves. All right, so when it gets tight, that's when it actually happens. It's opening it up. That's it. We got the limited slip differential. That's gonna be installed tomorrow. We already put the cover on and spray painted the cover to match the diff itself. The rear subframe is in. We did reinforcement. We welded the reinforcement in there, spray painted it at the same time. Controls out there. Stainless steel brake lines. Coilovers installed with shocks himself. So the next step, we're gonna install arms, the differential, and we're pretty much gonna be ready to roll with the rear end. Racing brake pads, the steel guides for the calipers. That's also part of a racing upgrade itself. we are all set here. And what we have here, just got delivered today, is finally got the cylinder head from a machine shop. So that looks pretty good. They had to replace the exhaust valves on it. The exhaust valves were completely worn out and they were too thin for them to resurface them, so they had to replace the exhaust valves. The block is ready. We just gotta change the pistons, install new pistons, rod bearings, and we'll throw the head gasket on it, and we're gonna start assembling the engine. We got the new timing rails and everything else in there, so I think we're gonna, next day or two, we're gonna have the engine ready, assembled, and we'll start the installation process. We've got a few days out to complete it and take it to the shop for the roll cage. All right, I think that's it. And once I have the engine assembled, I'll have everything cleaned up in there and we will organize that stuff. Honestly, I underestimated the project. I thought it was probably gonna take, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, and then wait 3 months into it. We weren't as consistent as I thought we would be, but I wanna say we're about like 90% done. So I'm gonna start respraying the interior, just the chalk gray color, just to kind of refresh. And as you can see, we completely eliminated wiring on one side to actually transfer it to the opposite side. So we're gonna have not even tail lights. I ran the tail light through the pillar. I'm just spray painting it, so for right now just cover it, but you're gonna see just one harness running to the front. So from entire car, I wanna say eliminated about 80% of the wire, and that's the only wiring that's gonna go to the back. It's just the tail lights on it and main power for the battery itself. And there's a few wires for the speed and the brake sensors for the wheels themselves. Besides that, we're not gonna have any wiring laying around. This one's gonna be properly secure on the side panel, and that's where we're at. We also eliminated the sunroof. As you can see, we have a block-off panel. We blocked off the firewall itself. So the next stage, we're gonna take it next week to install the roll cage. Once the roll cage is installed, there's gonna be fine-tuning. So we're gonna start driving the vehicle, make sure it's running properly mechanical, secure all the wiring, and actually put it to the real test. So next time you see us, it's probably gonna be on the track. Stay tuned.